What's going on, guys? Horror Junkies back with another video. And whoo I'm telling you right now, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Damn. I'm not happy. Which we knew this was coming. We said this before we watched this movie. We said this was going to be an absolute piece of shit. And it was. It was. First off, I'm going to say we definitely appreciate you guys watching this video or all of our videos and tuning in our channel. And we definitely would appreciate you guys if you would hit that thumbs up button, that subscribe button, and go and hit that notification bell because that would really help us out and help our channel a lot. And we appreciate it. So.
And we deserve it after watching this movie. Hope y'all know. We suffer because of y'all.
I am going to throw this out there too. We're about to do something a little different also. We're about to start doing some unboxing of some horror figures. That's coming soon. We're working that out right now, so that's going to be another addition to this channel that we're going to do. So let's get into this movie because wow.
And I want to be
I don't even know where to start.
I want to be perfectly clear. When I say we suffer because of y'all, it's because we have to watch shitty ass horror movies so y'all can watch us review them.
Well, that's what we do.
And we do it for you.
That's what we do. I'm going to start off with Reese Waterfield. Waterfield. The director of this movie.
You give Reese's a bad name.
This guy should never, ever direct another fucking movie.
In life.
Ever. I looked this guy up too. He's known for shit movies.
He's known for this movie.
He's made several different movies, and the only movie other than this one that he has a review on, is like 40%. And it's terrible. Rotten Tomatoes gives Winnie the Pooh a 6%. And we all know Rotten Tomatoes, they're back and forth on some shit. But to get a 6, do you know if any other movies got a 6% by Rotten Tomatoes?
Jeepers Creepers. Reborn.
Right. And this one's worse. I never thought I would see another movie that was worse than Jeepers Creepers. This is it.
It's happened.
It's terrible. We can start out with the acting. There's none.
There is none.
There's none.
It's horrible.
The special effects are terrible. The storyline.
There is none.
Where's it at?
Every single actor or actor who signed on to be in this movie never act again.
Shouldn't.
The guy who they cast as Christopher Robin.
Oh.
One of the most famous characters in this story can't act for shit.
No, his performance from start to finish is just terrible. Like, he literally sits there and watches his girlfriend be killed by Winnie the Pooh and does absolutely nothing but cries and begs Winnie the Pooh not to do it. He actually doesn't even try to stop him. It's terrible.
And her death makes no sense.
So this is definitely a spoiler video.
Her death makes no sense because Piglet comes up behind her with a chain and wraps it around her neck and chokes her to death. But whenever you see her body on the ground, her eyeballs popped out. Huh?
Yeah, so wow. You know, you're this story is so back and forth. You get lost It makes no sense
You don't know
at all.
you don't know who the characters are or even what their names are half the time.
Right. And then, after you supposedly think Christopher Robin dies,
In the first 10 minutes of the movie,
they introduced this
someone
girl, and literally she has nothing to do with the story. Her backstory is that it's absolutely garbage. Like,
her backstory has nothing to do with the movie.
somebody breaks in her apartment,
While she's sleeping,
tries to get her naked.
tries to do the freaky.
Boom, chicka, wow, wow.
And when you're introduced to this girl, they don't tell you who she is.
No.
They basically just put her on screen and you follow her the rest of the movie. They don't tell you who she is
Until she dies.
Until she dies. They don't tell you who she is, barely what her name is. I couldn't even remember her name. And they don't tell you how she knows, if she knows, or anything. If she's related to Christopher Robin, how she knows about him, if she knows him.
Right. They just her therapist tells her she needs to get away. So her and her friends go to this cabin near the 100-acre woods, and that's all we know. And then just out of nowhere they just start getting slaughtered for no fucking reason. And it's not even a good slaughter. It's just badly done.
All CGI blood.
It comes out of nowhere. It's so bad. Like, they don't explain nothing.
They really don't.
The best part of this movie, is the intro to this movie, which is absolutely a drawings done animated type deal where it explains how Winnie the Pooh, Piglet, and Eeyore go wild because Christopher Robin goes to college and leaves them to whatever.
Deep in the 100-acre woods, a young boy named Christopher Robin came across some most unusual adolescent creatures. Crossbreeds, who some would describe as abominations. The creatures introduced themselves as Owl, Rabbit, Eeyore, Piglet, and most importantly, Winnie the Pooh. With the naivety of youth, Christopher ignored the dangers and befriended them all. He brought them food, and with each passing day together, their bond strengthened and grew. The days turned to years, and with the years came maturity. Eventually, Christopher had to make the hard decision to leave his friends to attend college, to become a doctor, requiring them to fend for themselves once more. Then winter arrived. The nights were deathly cold, the land barren and completely devoid of food. One fateful night, on the brink of starvation, Pooh decided that in order to survive, the group must consume one of their dearest friends. And thus, Eeyore was no more. The trauma of this act warped the minds of the group. They became feral and developed a hatred to all things human, and in particular, Christopher Robin for abandoning them. A pact was made. They renounced their humanity and returned to their animalistic roots, swearing never to talk again.
And so that's literally the best part of this movie.
Yeah, so basically,
That's the only explanation you get.
basically, the whole entire backstory for the fucking movie is Christopher Robin grows up, goes off to college, and leaves them for, what'd they say, 5 winters, 5 years?
Yeah, something like that.
And Christopher Robin wasn't bringing them any more food, so they, instead of starving to death, all the animals got together and decided to eat Eeyore.
Yeah.
So after they ate him, they all lost their minds. and decided to leave their humanity behind and become rabbit or wild animals.
No Tigger. They don't even mention him.
Yeah, when they're introducing
Like the best character out of Winnie the Pooh, and they don't even mention him.
when they're
Not at all.
introducing the animals at the beginning, you get Pooh Bear, you get Piglet, you get Owl, you get Rabbit, you get Eeyore. They don't even mention Tigger at all.
Nope.
So I'm guessing he doesn't exist.
And let's go out there to say that Piglet's not even a pig; he's a boar.
Or
And
a
yes, he's a
warthog.
pig. Boars are pigs, but
Or a warthog.
pigs have maybe some a little bitty tusk when they get older, but I'm pretty sure he was a warthog. I'm pretty sure.
So my question.
The masks were terrible.
Yes.
Makeup was stupid. Like Piglet couldn't even cover up the fucking mask, you know,
The
you
end
see
where the mask
Yeah,
ends.
it's just fucking terrible. It was bad.
So my question with the backstory is if they all lost their minds and decided to leave their humanity behind, why do they dress like humans? They wear shirts, pants, and boots or shoes. Why do they dress like humans? Why do they still walk on 2 feet?
They had gloves on too.
Yeah. Why do they walk on 2 feet? And how the fuck does Winnie the Pooh know how to drive a car?
Yeah, like it's so back and forth, and it's everywhere. The storyline is everywhere, and it at no point does it make any sense
Hmm.
from start to finish. It really does not.
And
They
then-
pretty much just kill these people with no explanation. They don't even show them like using them for food. Like at any point do they show any of this? Because they do eventually show Winnie the Pooh eating honey. Very nasty, like disgusting. But he's slobbering everywhere. It's terrible. And there's even one point where Winnie the Pooh and they had Christopher Robin has a moment, and it looks like Winnie the Pooh's crying, but it looks like honey. It's thick as shit.
His tear is thick. Who does that?
Like,
Not to mention, in that same exact scene where Pooh cries, they rip off Friday the 13th. Earlier in the movie, they rip off Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And later in the movie, towards the end, they rip off Halloween Kills.
yes. Yeah, the end one of the end scenes where he's chasing 2 girls and they find some guys on the road and there's like 4 of them and they act like big tough guys, you know, like one of them's got old Huckleberry, the bat,
Say goodnight. My question is,
and they all get fucked up.
my
I
question
called it.
is, every single guy that you see in this movie who's not Christopher Robin, why do they look like Rob Zombie? They all do. The scene that rips off Halloween
Ooh,
Kills,
shit.
where there's 4 guys beating the shit out of Pooh Bear, they all have long hair and they all look alike.
You know what's funny is they all had different weapons. One had a bat, one had a crowbar. But the one that stood out to me was he had a bottle.
That's all he brought,
That's it.
was a bottle.
Like a wine bottle. It kind of looked like a wine bottle. And that's what brought Pooh Bear to his end. He's pissed. He got hit in the back of the head with a bottle.
Yeah.
And he
then,
just starts slaying motherfuckers.
And then the dude who hit him with a bottle, Pooh Bear turns around to kill him, and for some reason, he's turned into a midget. Because
He gets
when he turns
small.
around, this dude went to like this big, and Pooh Bear went to this big for
Yeah.
some reason.
Yeah. And then after that scene, he was like taller than all the other ones too.
Yeah.
Like, it was weird.
He grew.
And then so
My favorite scene in
I
this
can't-
movie.
I can't complain enough about it. Like, there's so much to complain about.
My favorite scene in this movie, and it was probably the funniest part of the movie, the only funny part, was when Pooh Bear is out in the woods, sees a girl, chases after her, and is haul-assing
Oh, yeah.
towards her.
He's haul-assing.
He was getting it.
Yeah, he was running really fast, hunting this chick down. Other than that, though, there was probably one good kill in this movie.
Yeah.
One good kill.
And it was Pooh Bear shoving a machete through a girl's mouth, and it comes out the back of her head.
Yeah.
Which was awesome.
And it looked good. But that was probably the only kill that looked that was absolutely decent looking.
Oh, there's also multiple scenes, dark scenes, where it's so dark, you can't tell what the fuck's happening.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. It's obvious this movie had a budget of 100. Well, we checked it out. It had a
This
budget
movie
of
had a
100
budget of ass.
$100,000, which at the same time, if you look back, the first Terrifier movie had a budget of $100,000, and it looked way better than this. You know what I mean? The blood splatter was better. The story was better. The movie was better, 100%.
Why were they people in costumes? In masks?
Yeah, the makeup was terrible.
You know what would have made this movie a whole lot better? Is if
they wouldn't have made it.
Other than that, you know what would have made this movie a whole lot better? Is if they're renouncing their humanity and becoming wild animals, make them animals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not people in masks.
It's funny too, because even in the movie, at some point they reference them as half animals.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Which is really weird.
Like, did they become part human?
Right.
There's literally a scene in this movie where two girls, couldn't tell you what their names are, two girls are hiding from Pooh Bear, and he's walking around the house to try to find them, and he can't find them. Isn't this dude a bear? Don't they have, like, really good sense of smell?
You know, the worst part is the only person that you can remember their name through this whole movie is Christopher Robin. There's other characters. There's so many other characters in this movie that you cannot remember their names for nothing. I couldn't tell you one of them's name other than Christopher Robin.
And I pointed this out while we were watching the movie. There's a after you're introduced to the main girl, there's one of her friends looks exactly like her, like the same actress, just with a different hair color.
Yeah.
Did she play two parts?
Maybe.
Because if she did, she's really stupid because everybody else was only in this movie one time.
She died too.
Right. But what I'm saying is, if she played two characters, which I doubt, but if she did, she's really stupid because everybody else played in this movie one time. She played in it twice.
Yeah.
That means you took a shitty job 2 times. 2 times.
Yeah, no, there were so many things that were out of place. Like there was at some point you would see Piglet and he would just be walking around with a sledgehammer. And then the next scene you see him, he's got these chains around his neck, but they look like brand new chains. They're really shiny and like they wasn't weathered. They wasn't rusty. They wasn't nothing. It was just really shiny chains. Like they just went to the hardware store and bought them.
They look like fucking plastic chains you get as Halloween decorations.
You later on in the movie you find they run into this woman who you have no clue who she is.
You've never seen her in the movie before.
She knows who Piglet and Winnie the Pooh is. I'm assuming maybe it could be Christopher Robin's mom.
Maybe.
Who knows?
We don't know.
They never say.
Because they never tell us.
So she's chained up with shiny change. Change. Like and quarters.
What made this scene so funny is when they go to get, because she has, I think, like a rope around her neck too. When they go to get the rope off of her neck,
The chains is
the chains are already off.
Yeah,
they didn't even touch them.
Yeah, they just
So they either just dropped or they did a spell.
dropped.
And what's even more messed up about this is the characters who find her act like they know who she is.
Yeah.
But we've never seen her in the movie before.
Yeah. And they saved Christopher Robin.
They
Because
shouldn't have.
he's a bitch.
Oh my god, they tried to make Pooh Bear kinky in this movie. He was whipping Christopher Robin with hair.
Yeah. See, there's another thing I have a problem with because they're whipping him with hair. It looks like actual somebody's ponytail at this point, and it's like leaving really big lacerations, deep ones in his back, and he just starts bleeding everywhere and shit. It just makes no sense. Who Reese? Reese, you suck.
What made that scene, the whipping scene, even more ridiculous is when blood starts pouring, literally pouring from Christopher Robin, but it's not coming from his back.
It's like over his head and shit.
What?
It's weird. Yeah, it's dumb. This whole movie is ridiculous. And we called it. I was really hoping before we watch this movie, I said it in our last video that maybe it's going to be good. Maybe it's going to surprise us. It didn't. You know what I mean? We called it. We said it was going to be terrible. It was terrible.
It wasn't even terrible. It was terrible.
You know, and it's sad because this guy's is greenlit to make a sequel. He's going to make a Peter Pan movie. He's going to make a Bambi movie. And they're going to be horror just like this. And it's terrible because this is the kind of horror movies that makes horror
A joke.
A joke. Like this, these are things that should not be made. You should not take Winnie the Pooh, all our childhood icons that we grew up with and make them horror characters. You shouldn't.
There's just some things that don't need to be a horror movie.
Right. Leave them left alone. Don't fuck with them. And Mr. Reese,
Waterfield.
You need to get a clue because you cannot make a horror movie.
And you need to never make a movie again. Not even a horror movie, just any movie.
Not even a comedy because nothing. You should not make movies because you're fucking terrible at it.
And you know what the most horrible and terrible part about this movie getting a sequel and all those other ones like Bambi and Peter Pan? You know the most horrible part about that? We're going to have to watch them to review them.
That's what we do.
But that's what we do.
That's right. So guys.
So y'all better be subscribed.
So guys, go check out Winnie the Pooh. If I was you, I wouldn't do it.
Don't.
But everybody has their own opinion. So if you want to go check this movie out, go check it out. And if you do, come back to this video and leave us a comment and tell us what you thought about this movie.
It's terrible.
It is terrible.
And before we get out of here, I need to apologize to Mr. David Gordon Green. I was talking shit on your name, and I meant it. But you're not this bad, so I'm sorry. You want to make this movie good, have Rob Zombie direct it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying his movies are good. I'm saying what he could do with this concept.
Oh, he would probably do better than Mr. fucking Waterfield.
Mr. Waterfield.
Because Mr. Waterfield should never make another fucking movie.
Ever in
He's
life.
fucking terrible. So, guys, like always, check us out on YouTube, Facebook, and the Slasher app. That's going to be it for Winnie the Pooh.
Broke my
Blood
fucking
and Honey.
neck. I did.
Damn. That was loud.
It hurts.
And you moved the table.
I did.
So until next time, guys, this is Horror Junkies, and we're out.